Good morning, LME. Happy Monday. Today is April 27th, 2020, and I am Mrs. Malcolm. I am so happy you're here today, and I hope you had a wonderful weekend. We're going to go ahead and start today by sounding out some words. So I want you to look for the chunks. The first word, what do you see? Do you see any chunks in that word? Let's take a look. Ing. We see the ng at the end and we have a double consonant. Let's sound it out again. Is ing. Is ing. Hissing. Did you get that one? Good job. Let's look at the next one. Look at this word. Do you see any blends? Any chunks? X. Sound it out with me. X. Pull. Ain. Explain. Explain. Let's take a look at it again. Explain. Did you notice the AI? Did you see the PL blend? Good job. Here's the last word. What do you notice? Do you see any chunks? Oh, I bet you saw this blend at the beginning and this digraph at the end. Here we go. Fur, fur, off, fur, off. A little bit faster now. Fur, off, froth. Nicely done. Read it one more time. Froth. Good job. Today's story is April Foolishness. And I know a couple of the students in my class got to read this when we did our Zoom meeting a few weeks ago. We are coming to the end of April, so I thought it might be nice to read this book. The learning target today. I can make connections when I read. This is going to help us understand the story. This is a fun one. Get comfortable. Here we go. April Foolishness by Teresa Bateman. Illustrated by Nadine Bernard Westcott. As you're reading the story, I want you to keep some words in your head. This reminds me of. Does this story remind you of anything? Ooh, maybe you had bacon for breakfast. Or Suzanne, Jolyn, Shelly Ann, and Rebecca can't pull the wool over their eyes. TB. For Oompa and Will, NBW. What an interesting picture here of the pig eating a tomato. Here we go. In this story, please remember to think about connections. This reminds me of, or that reminds me of. Life on the farm keeps a gal on her toes. That's what Grandma thought as she flung on her clothes. She grinned, for the grandkids had come for a stay, and wouldn't you know it, they picked the right day. Grandpa! Oh, Grandpa! The cows have got loose! I think Big Brown Bessie just stepped on a goose! The cows are ouch! This reminds me of having a farm. I had a farm with 2 cows. That's what this reminds me of. I just made a connection. Imagine, said Grandpa. Good gracious, alas! Then he poured some milk in a tall, frosty glass. Grandpa! Oh, Grandpa! The chickens are out! They're squawking and squabbling and racing about. Imagine, said Grandpa. Amazing, oh my, as he popped some eggs into the skillet to fry. Grandpa, oh Grandpa, the pigs broke the gate. You know, this character, Grandpa, he reminds me of my father. My father was a very calm and patient person. And look at Grandpa. He's not even getting upset. I wonder why. I made a connection between this character and my father. Grandpa, oh Grandpa, the pigs broke the gate. They're in the tomatoes. Oh, hurry, don't wait. Oh my. Imagine, said Grandpa. I'm really quite shaken. He reached in the fridge and he got out the bacon. Grandpa! Oh, Grandpa! The goats are all freed! They're running around in a smelly stampede. Imagine, said Grandpa. It's really quite scary. Then he sliced the goat cheese that he bought from the dairy. Grandpa, oh, Grandpa, the sheep are all gone. I heard that they're munching on somebody's lawn. Imagine, said Grandpa. I hope things get better. He opened the closet and got out a sweater. Grandpa, oh, why won't you listen? The farm's going nuts. If you'd look, you would see. But Grandpa just grinned as he took out the bread and he popped in some toast for his breakfast instead. I noticed that this is a rhyming book, and when I just read this first part up here, I noticed it didn't rhyme, so I'm going to reread it because I don't think I read it correctly. And good readers listen to what they're reading and they go back if they don't understand or it doesn't make sense. Grandpa, oh, why won't you listen to me? The farm's going nuts. If you'd look, you would see. But Grandpa just grinned as he took out the bread and he popped in some toast for his breakfast instead. And Grandma appeared. Oh, what a hullabaloo! Who's causing this noise? The grandkids or you? It's nothing, said Grandpa. Ignore them, I say. They're trying to trick me. It's April Fool's Day. But, honey, said Grandma, you'll find to your sorrow it's not April Fool's Day today, but tomorrow. Then Grandpa turned red and he gave out a roar. He sped through the kitchen and dashed out the door. Grandma just smiled as she pulled up a stool. She nibbled his toast and she called, April Fool! Oh my goodness. All the animals are in their correct places on the farm. They were just playing a trick on Grandpa. That is so funny. I bet Grandpa's very relieved. At the end, they are all smiling and happy. That was a funny joke. All right, so today your assignment is going to be to make a connection. The story reminds me. So you can see that I just used a regular piece of paper and I drew a line down the middle, and I drew a line in the middle going horizontally so that way I could have my pictures at the top and my words at the bottom. First, I drew a picture of the story that we just read. I chose to draw a pig and a tomato plant, and there's a tomato there. The pig is not in his pen because the kid said he got out of his pen to eat the tomatoes. Do you remember that part of the story? Then on this side, I drew a picture of my connection. This story reminds me of a time Sawyer and Anna played a joke on me. So I drew a picture of Sawyer and me, and here he's saying, "I am just joking." And you can tell that we're in the bathroom because I drew the lights and the sink. So Sawyer and Annabelle told me that there was a water leak in the bathroom, but they were just joking. The grandchildren played an April Fool's joke on their grandfather. That reminds me. Can you say that? That reminds me. One more time. That reminds me of when Sawyer and Anna told me that there was a water leak in the bathroom. They were playing a trick on me. It was very funny. The characters smiled at the end of the story, and so did we. So, boys and girls, your job today is to make your own connection. The story reminds me. I can't wait to see your work on SeeSaw. Remember, take your time, do your best, have fun. I can't wait to see your 5Q work. Have a great day, first graders.